Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share a flip through of the first 25 layouts in my 100-day challenge. My 100-day challenge was to do 100 days of A4 scrapbooking. I live in the UK. We don't have 8.5 by 11 paper. We don't have page protectors for them. I can't find them, and it seems silly to change the size. A4 paper is about, it's like 8 by 11.5 more like. It's kind of closer sort of sizing, so a little bit narrower, and I wanted to trial a way of scrapbooking that was cheaper for me to store them. So buying the large like Project Lifestyle albums, you know, the big 12 by 12 ring bound albums, and I do prefer ring bound to post bound albums, was getting really expensive. And especially for a challenge like this, I wanted something I could store them really easily and I could try a new size that I'm not familiar with. So I've just bought, at the moment, I already had this. This is not the final one that they'll end up in, I don't think. Once I've done them, I'll probably go and find a couple of nice, big, you know, like wider ones of these to store them in. But I'm just using an ordinary file folder that you can just pick up in like any supermarket or WH Smith, and then I'm using just standard page inserts, but these are extra thick ones, so I did splash out on extra thick ones. So I'm just going to run through the first 25, give you a little taster, might give you some inspiration, and if you're completing the 100-day project, please let me know down below. I'd love to know what your 100 days worth of project is. I think I went big with this to do scrapbook layouts, and I really didn't think that I would get this far, so I'm quite chuffed so far. It's actually been quite nice in the evening. Just put the telly on, and I've got like a breakfast tray thingy, you know, for breakfast in bed, although I don't believe in breakfast in bed because of crumbs. But yeah, I've been using that tray on my lap with whatever TV series we're watching at sort of like 9 o'clock, just scrapbooking away. So this is the first one that I did. It's entitled Rainbow Locks because my hair on Snapchat was brightly coloured, and I just wish that I could have brightly coloured hair, but I'm a teacher and, you know, it's probably not a good example to set the youths. I don't know why, but, you know, you can't express individuality. Here are some stamped and cut flowers. These are, I can't remember. I wonder if the stamp set's here somewhere. It's a stamp set. I'll try and remember whose stamp set it is below. But it's beautiful. Like, I love the colours. And I did like splattery bits in the background. I just used some cracked pistachio distress ink. Oh gosh, this is going to be a painful video, I can feel it. I was going to stamp here as well, but I haven't. So it's got some of my Wild Hair Kits embellishments on it as well, and then I just die cut these with my die cutting machine. Hopefully you can kind of see this. It's a bit difficult because the light's coming from this direction, so I'm just going to hold it up a little bit so you can get a better look at it. So I love the ripped paper on this one. I used some Trimcraft products along the side here. This heart has moved from somewhere, I'm not sure where it's moved from. This is from Studio Calico. This was Studio Calico as well. This was from a Amy Tangerine sticker set, and I really love this. I love the colours. I absolutely love this one. Really nice. I don't, however, love this one. Did this one at a crop. I thought, oh, I'll try and get like a couple of days ahead with the thing in case I get behind at some point. So I've got something there in case there's a day when I can't do the scrapbooking. But I found this so painful to do. I went home after I did this layout because I just couldn't take it anymore. I did some stamping along the top here. So I stamped these tiny little dots. I had like a stamp set that I got from Paper Chase that looks really nice along there. And then I've got these really nice, I love these letters so much, but I don't know what it is about it. It's not my thing. I know I did it, but there's something I don't quite like about it, although I haven't really worked out what. Same with this one. This was also one at the crop. So I did these that one, and then I was like, this is so painful. I have no idea if this is right, if you know what I mean. I really like it in one sense. I love how bold it is. I love the separation between the two layers. I made the picture look like it was, like an Instax type photo. I know it's too big, but it was along that principle. I used lots of little sticker die cut thingies from Paige Evans' kit, and then added some sequins and little brad here and some word stickers. I do actually like it, but there is a part of me that's not sure if these colours really go together. But I just thought, I don't know, I kind of like it, so I'm going to go with it. But yes, I did get really frustrated with it. I stuck this down, stuck that down. And I was like, I don't know what to do now. And then I found these and I thought, I'm not sure if they technically go, but I'm going to use them. So I love this layout here. I stamped with a just a capital letter stamp set. It was just really, I think I got it off Amazon. It's like a plastic mounted stamps, so they're not wood mounted, you can kind of see through them, but they're not cling stamps. And I love this quote. I can't remember where the quote came from. It's something like, on a windswept hill by a billowing sea, my destiny waits for me, is what the rest of it should be. But I obviously don't have enough room, and I just liked it like this because I was on a hill and you can't really see it, but the sea was in the background. This was in Dorset, in Bridport. So yeah, I was just having a lovely walk across the hills, and I was incredibly windswept. It was so windy, but I just love that feeling of being out in the wind. So beautiful. So, and then I just used like a nice little green flash here of a banner. I really love how this came out. It was really simple. I do love stamp titles. I think that's what I'm realising as I'm going through this project. The ones with hand stamping on, I do particularly enjoy. This was a Pinterest layout. So I don't remember who did it, and I feel really bad for not being able to credit them. But it was on Pinterest. It was similar to mine. Everything was a little bit downsized. It was definitely a bit smaller. I used different colours and things. But yeah, essentially I stole it from there. So I added some cute embellishments. These are from a whole range of places. There's some Bramble Fox in here. I don't even remember where that's from. That's so old. I think this was a Studio Calico, or like Beautiful Mess product. And I think these buttons were a Beautiful Mess as well. But I got them via Studio Calico. This is a nice little painted layout. It's kind of cute. I went to something fairly quick. I just felt like doing straightforward brush strokes. I did actually add tons of writing all behind the picture. I didn't really think it through because the picture went over the top. So I didn't really need to do that, but I had a pen set, this pen set here in fact, and they had exactly that colour that was the same as my paint. So I thought, oh, I'm going to just add some writing along there as well. And then I've just added some gold accents to it. Again, some ripping on the edges here, and I've created like a diagonal pattern. Diagonal pattern is definitely the way that I naturally go to, I think. So this is a fun little layout. I used a cut file here on my Cricut, and my friend emailed me this cut file to use. So I don't really know where it came from. I don't know if she made it or what, but I just was describing to her what I wanted to do. I said, I want yellow, I want pink, I want like splashes of colour, and I want a nice long floral cut file. And she was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Here, have this one. So that was very kind of her. I added a pink doodle edged border to it, some hand cut flowers, or like fussy cut flowers, and this picture just of lots of blossoms. I kind of like this because it ended up actually quite a square layout, well not square, oblong layout, which is unusual for me. I tend to have like it all goes that way, or it all goes that way, or it all goes kind of like straight down, whereas I feel like this is literally that whole space there is used up. So it's a bit different for me. I quite like it. As I mentioned, diagonal, that's exactly what happened here. I was actually creating a blog post about using stamps, which my blog is linked down below if you want to go check it out. And this was one of the techniques that I was talking about, which was using phrase stamps to create backgrounds. I just decided to create a corner background. It just says hello love, which I thought was cute. Some hand stamped and coloured flowers, and then this was like a vintage paper from the works which I added, and I just put T for two, and I'm really enjoying like mixing fonts in the titles at the moment. And then I just added some journaling here and these cute little flower sequins, which again were from the works. Lots of paper layers, some tissue paper behind there as well. This was just one of my favourite layouts of the whole thing. I wrote a lot of journaling here. I talked about my mum and my granddad and their relationship, because they're just so cute. And there they are. Oh. And so I just had this cut file. I cut it out ages ago. Again, I can't really remember where it's from. I'm sorry. And it's in like a teal, really dark teal paper, maybe somewhat green, I suppose. And I just trimmed the sides of it here, so it was like going off the page. And what I started with is I just drew pencil marks where I thought it was going to land, and then I used my typewriter to type those in, and I used 2 peas in a pod as my title, because I thought that was really cute. Added a few sequins, and then these are cut out from a pattern paper. I think these 2 little butterflies are from a Paige Evans sticker sheet. This one here was really simple, so I didn't have much time at all, and I had already stamped this whole, when I say it was simple, actually the whole background is stamped. So let me just take this out of here for a second. I don't know if you can see this background here. Again, this was for my blog post, and I'd stamped it like at the weekend, but I hadn't done anything else to the layout. I had made a sequin mix again for my blog post, of which the link is down below if you'd like to go and check it out. And I had these funky letters that were very holographic. And I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to make it really simple. So this is a picture of me in Lisbon. We're in a main square, but I can't remember what it was called. And so I just added that picture to a piece of pattern paper, again from a paper set from the works. And then I just added these sequins. I do like it. It's very simple for me. Like more simple than I'm used to. I think it looks really pretty. I wouldn't say it was necessarily typically my style, as it were. This layout here is also for a blog post. Here I used the Awesome Ladies stamp set. So you can purchase these from the Awesome Ladies website, and they're currently stamp sets. So I stamped currently all the way down the side here. I'd also purchased her label stamp set. And then I stamped in each one what I was planning, loving, reading, making, watching, listening and feeling. And that's a blog post where I talked about the journaling on here and showed my layout. I'm hoping to do a few more of these kind of currently layouts throughout the project. This one here was after I watched a big picture class. I'm so bad. I can't remember the name of the person whose class it was. But they were using 3 things as inspiration. So they were looking on Pinterest, finding 3 items. So it was big picture, ombre, and I think it was a repeating title. So I stamped a repeating title in ombre. I didn't manage to get the ombre here. Like sometimes I managed to get it looking vaguely ombre, but sometimes I really didn't. But I tried. And I used an A4 photo paper here, and I just cut it down slightly so there was a slight white border to it. And this was Bill when we went to Sri Lanka, and he was taking a picture with our I think he was taking a picture with his phone, and I had the big DSLR camera. This was actually a really nice picture with a whole length of gorgeous scenery to the side. But I liked this. I thought it was really cute. It was fun. It was a nice way to like zoom in on a picture rather than to include the whole thing. This picture here, I used these letters which I purchased from was these from Hobbycraft? They might have been from Hobbycraft. I don't think they were, you know, but where were they from? Oh my gosh, that's really annoying. I can't remember where they're from, but they're really big letters, and they had them in gold and in white, and I bought both of them, and I really wanted to use them, so I did them on this layout here. Again, I think this was a Pinterest inspired layout. I'm not very used to very linear layouts, although I'm definitely learning that through this process. I've managed to do quite a few more that are linear like that. So I added a scallop border at the top here, which I just hand cut, and I actually really like the fact that they're kind of like messy. I also saw Scrappy Like a Fox's trend watch, and I was so flattered because this layout was in the trend watch, and I was like squealing in the kitchen because I had it propped on the side while I was doing the washing up. My phone propped on the side, and my boyfriend was like, "Why are you screaming?" And I'm like, "I'm famous." I mean, I'm not famous, but I was very chuffed. That's very sweet. So I added some little puffy stars, which I've still been hoarding, these Pink Fresh Studio stars. I just love them so much. And then some like hand cut or like fussy cut from larger papers, and a couple of labels here. Yeah, and some of these little banner things from various different people and places. This one here was a Wild Hair Kit layout, and I used lots of strips of paper from Wild Hair Kit, and this background paper was from the Wild Hair Kit too. I used a few different strips of washi tape as well, like this polka dot one and this black and white strip. This is from Amy Tangerine paper, and I just cut that bit out, and I just added loads of stitching, and you'll notice that there's a little run of stitching where I had the sewing machine out. And then when I put the sewing machine away, there will be no stitching again for a while. So, yes. And then I added these cute little letters down here that says sofa snuggles. And this was actually a scrap lift of a layout I had done previously. If you want to check that out, again, it's on my blog, so I'll link it down below. This is another blog layout. This one is entitled Twitcher. This is our family cat from my childhood. She's not around anymore, unfortunately. Spud. And she was inside of the birdhouse. I think she was trying to catch birds. I mean, I suppose it's ingenious, really. But she was a very chubby cat. And so, like, her little head popped out. And then she just had this mass of her bum. Her bum and her tail and her back legs all sticking out the back of the birdhouse. Which I don't have a picture of, but it's a vivid memory for me. So I just added lots of Maggie Holmes on here. Some Maggie Holmes, like cut out birds. And yeah, I used from this the inspiration from the big picture class that I watched to do, where is it? It's not that far back, this layout. And I decided to select 3 pictures for inspiration myself. So the 3 pictures, I was a hand cut title, which I actually kind of like. It's quite cute. I think it was doodles, so I found like a doodly one, and one was birds. So yeah, I love this layout, love how it came out. I did some stamping here to make the journaling. This one here, I cut out these hearts on my on my Cricut, and I layered up this cute paper behind it. Again, that's one from my Wild Hair Kit. I had this, I don't even know where it's from. This was from, I think these are from Studio Calico, like sale kits. And then just some buttons and little bits and bobs and some splatters of silver, which I really like as well. This one here, I did some stitching at home. So it's got a little bit of hand stitching. And then just like a strip of paper and some punched hearts. It was really quite simple. It was time consuming to do the stitching, but it was a simple layout. It's not my favourite. I do like it, obviously, but this I love. So again, a very blocky kind of layout. I've really enjoyed doing doodly borders. It was nice to finally use a frame. I'm not normally someone who uses a frame. And again, this pattern of using mixtures of letter stickers, like different fonts. So it says, I heart London South Bank. My brother and I, we went to London South Bank over Easter holiday, like over the Easter weekend. He was down here to visit. I live like 20 minutes from central London on a train. Well, not even that really, like 15 minutes. But I am lazy and I just don't go to London very often. But South Bank is 100% my favourite. So we went from here to London Bridge and then we walked along South Bank, and it was really nice, and we got some cocktails and stuff and just had a nice time. This one here was an Easter layout, and I had so much fun doing this. I was watching Brené Brown actually on Netflix, which I didn't like as much as her TED Talk, just in case you haven't seen it, but her TED Talk was much better, I felt. I thought that the Netflix one was a little bit of a repeat of that. I'm not convinced she said much that she hadn't already said in the TED Talk. So, but this one says, get in my belly. It's a bit of a get in my belly, you know, Austin Powers and Fat. And the fat man. I can't say his name, it's a swear word, isn't it? But do you remember him, the Scottish one? Is that, get in my belly? No? Well, that's what I think every time I see this, and it was an Easter egg and I wanted it in my belly. So lots of paper layers, some stitching, some different types of stitching. This was an accident. This one was an absolute accident. I didn't realise what I twisted the thing to, but I really like it. Lots of little buttons, so many layers of paper, and then these are the leftover cutout hearts from, and so are these actually, from the layout back here. So yeah, I really love this layout a lot. It's really, really nice. It's kind, again, actually kind of unlike me, I would say. I'm not normally into the big layers, but I really loved it. It's kind of like it poofs out in the middle. This is really cute. This is completely stolen from a Pinterest layout, but again, the colours are different, thicknesses of the paper. The one on Pinterest was a lot more regimented. It didn't have ripped edges. It didn't have a massive title like this. So there are differences, as there often are when you know, kind of scrap lift someone or use someone for inspiration. But I really love that it's kind of justified to the left here. It looks really nice. And these were from A Beautiful Mess, again from a Studio Calico haul. We're on to the last 5 now, we're nearly done. So this one here is really cute. It's entitled Rate My Tart. This was from when I went to Lisbon with 2 of my friends for New Year, and we were there for a long weekend, and we just went to like every place where you could possibly get a custard tart from, and we ate a custard tart, and then we had a little book and we rated each custard tart on a scale of 1 to 5, and this was the best custard tart that we had. So it was actually the first custard tart that we had that we rated. So I don't know if it was just there could have been problems with this, but we rated this one as the highest. And we actually, to be fair, I think we did go back and have another one. Yes, so Rate My Tart was the best game in the world. And I would highly recommend it if you ever go to Portugal. Just do Rate My Tart, seriously. Well, if you go to Lisbon. I guess they would sell them everywhere in Portugal, but... oh dear, this layout here. It is oh dear to me, I don't like it at all. I was using a wide washi tape, and I'd seen a layout that was kind of like this, where they'd like staggered it and they tucked the photos in. So I like cut slits, tucked the photos into it here. And then I added some of these embellishments as well. This one I really love. This was inspired by Jess from the Wild Hair Kits design team. And she had done a layout similar to this, where she had documented the TV series that she'd been watching, and I thought, I haven't actually done that ever, so I thought I would, because I've been loving Line of Duty. I literally cannot wait until this Sunday. Yes, I want to find out what happens. I think it's the season finale this Sunday. Fleabag was awesome, so good, so British, but so good. Homeland I just love, and the new season of that has been out on Netflix for a while now, and we just finished that season, and I just love Crazy Ex-Girlfriend because it has singing in it. It's just hilarious to me. So yeah, I've been watching that. That's one of these Netflix annoying things where they release it like once a week. Why would they do that? I'll just watch ordinary telly if they're releasing it once a week. Jeez. And the final layout here was a nice simple layout. I ripped a piece of ordinary kind of lined paper, and then I just layered this really cute picture which I took that weekend when we were at a National Trust park, and I put some silver paper behind it, Bloom lettering here, one tiny sticker, and then these stickers here, they were all from the Maggie Holmes sticker book. And then I had made these paper flowers because I was making them for a swap, a Happy Mail swap. So yeah, this is 25. I've actually done more, but I'm not going to share them now because this is already going to be a massively long video. So I'd love to know if you're doing a 100-day project and what you're doing. I'd love to know if you do A4 or 8.5 by 11 scrapbook layouts. If you've got any tips or anything, please leave them in the comments below. I will see you in my next video. So goodbye from me.